Hey everyone, Corvus here. Welcome to this video, work in progress video on the Sigmarite Mausoleum I'm currently working on. As you can see, I've made quite a few. Hey everyone, Corvus here. Welcome to this video. Hey everyone, Corvus here. Welcome to this video, a work in progress video on the Sigmarite Mausoleum. Just want to get you up to date with this project on which I've been working. Yeah, I think since the beginning of since half of August somewhere. So there's now 1 month and a half, about 1 month and a half of work here, on and off, of course, but already quite a few hours sunken into this project. What took up quite some time was cleaning up before assembly, so cleaning the mold lines, especially here. I mean, there are lots of these bits with these spikes, and especially these fences. Was a lot of work cleaning the mold lines there along the sides, etc. Assembly was not so complicated. I mean, these are all one-part pieces. This came in 2 or 3 parts, I guess. Same goes for this. These doors were in here, these gates, and you had to put this on a base, of course. Other than that, there are quite a few wall pieces, also all in one piece, and then these flat areas on which the little how you call them, the little crypts, we'll get there in a minute, little crypts are mounted. They're also almost all of them are one piece, only there is one piece here. They had the lid. You could leave the lid a bit open. There was a skeleton in there, but I thought you had just a bit more painting work for not that much added value, because there are bones, skulls here all over the place, so I just left the lid closed. And as you can see, the gray is basically done. Just a regular. Let me see if I can find the paints that I use for this. Hold on. So I'm not using GW paint for this. I'm just using some cheaper craft paints. I use these. So acrylics, some standard acrylics from a craft store, nothing really special. So the base coat is done with this, and then mixing in some of this regular white dry brush. That's what's done with the gray areas. So yeah, that's for the gray, and then I am currently just base coating all the other areas. Let's, for example, take this one. You can see what I've already done. So basically the skulls, they are painted in what's it called? It's here. It's a Steel Legion drap, which I use for skulls, base coating skulls most of the time. And then the flowers, of course, as you can see, also a bit of a detail on there, which takes up quite some time to do correctly. So colors I used for that is, for the leaves I used this Death World Forest, and then for the flowers use some purple, because it's also on the box art. I quite like this, the violet red, but my violet red I almost run out of it. So last week when I was in the game store, I picked up this one, Screamer Pink, which is quite close. Probably there's enough in the bottle left, but for next time I have to paint something in this purple. I'm going to use this Screamer Pink, because I'm not really happy with the consistency of this purple paint. The problem with Vallejo model color is the consistency. For example, the purples and the reds had some problem with that in the past, so for these colors I'm switching over to GW. So anyway, that was the detailing was going on here. Also here a bit of metallic. As you can see, the fences on here are also painted in metallic, so the plan now is to move over to the next phase, which is going to be a wash applied to this, probably just a Nuln Oil over there, and then some Agrax Earthshade mixed in for the skulls most probably. See how that works out, and then I think I will be doing some additional shading there afterwards with some regular tint paint. So some of the base coat paint, some of this steel legend wrap with some black, I think, to pick out some of the details, like the sockets, etc. Yeah, let's move over here to the side here, where these crypts are. I think these are really nice models. It was really fun to assemble, and as you can see, I mean, we'll go over it in detail when everything is done, of course. But just to show you that these should be mounted on here. I think I have the wrong one here. It's not really fitting. It's the other one, the other rectangular one, which probably goes on here. I'm making a mistake somewhere, but let's just take one of these square ones, then I cannot be mistaken. Just to give you an example how it looks on these bases. So just mount this on here. I think it looks quite cool. Not sure if it should go this way or the other. It's like this now. It fits. Now it fits. And yeah, of course there's some details inside, but there's not really much added value in putting a lot of details on here. Also, some of the gold I also still need to do, as you can see, for example here also these crosses, and of course everything that's bronze, including these roofs, these statues, something that I'm going to do next. But currently, I think the last few nights I've been focusing on painting these fences. I did those last, and it really took a lot of time to get these done cleanly. So I took a regular #1 brush to paint a bit along the edges of this, and then I used a bigger brush to paint in the areas in between. But even with that technique, it took many hours to I think this fence, for example, paint on the metallics. I think it was 20 or 30 minutes to cleanly paint on the metallics. Of course, just being very careful and not have any metallic paints on the skulls and the flowers and the other details. That also took quite a while to do. As you can see, I painted everything which is not a flower skull or metallic areas. Painted this in the same gray. So as you can see here, you might say Corvus, okay for the stones, but then this is just some soil or sand on here. I'm aware of that, but I'm not really planning to paint this in another separate color. I'm just probably going to apply some kind of a different color of wash there, maybe a brownish wash there, to give it a bit of a separate tone from the stone areas. And of course, what else I will do with the stone is add some a green wash, for example, some green details to simulate some moss. And then on the other areas which have some metallics on there, simulate some rust dripping on the stones and stuff like that. So yeah, so last night I was very happy that I completed the fences, but now I just started preparing for my my paint session this evening, and I noticed there's some of these gratings here, these little gates, also on the crypts. So I guess I'm not yet done with those metallics. Not really a difficult job, but just takes up a lot of time to do cleanly. So it's finishing these metallics, and then I'm just going to show you. Oh yeah, I have them here. The other crypts. I mean, these roofs, they will all be done in bronze, which I also bought when I was at the game store last week. I'm going to use some Balthasar gold for this, because my other metallic I used is mainly the Runelord brass, but I think it's the Runelord brass or the other one I have here. 1 second, the Warplock bronze is a bit too dark. I'm not really a fan of this color, but I think with this paint I had a bit of a problem last time that the paint separated. Probably know what I'm talking about, and I mean the consistency was a bit messed up with this last time. So I checked out the box, which color they used for the roofs, and it was this Balthasar gold. Maybe for those of you who don't know the set quite well, I have the box over here. It's the Sigmarite Mausoleum box. Quite a big box, as you can see. A lot of sprues in there. But basically there's 2 of each kind of these crypts and fences, and you can really turn this into a really nice looking graveyard. And this is I'm going to use this as a background for pictures. And as some of you might know, who've been following me for quite a while, I painted the 2 Age of Sigmar starter sets The plan is to still to play a game at one day, but I really want to have first have a nice table with a lot of nice scenery on here. Painted the other Age of Sigmar scenery. I forgot about the name, but one of the previous videos on this channel was also a big project that I finished earlier this year for my Stormcast Eternal scenery, and this is for the undead ones. That was in the second edition starter set. It's going to be a backdrop for the pictures and also for some of the gaming. Oh yeah, another thing, if you look carefully, this oxide here on the roof, you can see the paint recipe here. On the top right it says this oxide, this copper oxide, also picked this up, and I don't know if any of you have experience with this already, this Nihilac oxide. Nihilac oxide, don't know what that is. If some of those lore experts out there can inform me what Nihilac is, then I'll be glad to know. But anyway, this is quite a watery substance. Usually what I do for this kind of oxide is I take some of this, for example this emerald also works fine, just dilute it, but this time I really wanted to give this one a try. Normally I'm not really a big fan of these Citadel technical paints, but yeah, just when I was in the store picking up some other paints, I thought I might well pick up this one and give it a try. So that's all for this video. Hope to see you in the next video with some progress on this. So getting all the metallics finished, starting with the washing, and tell you about my experiences with this oddly named paint here, this oxide paint. So again, that's all. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope you see you in the next video, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. See you, bye.